how to hire someone to call off-market properties. Okay, first off, on-market properties, off-market properties. On-market is properties that are listed on the multiple listing service with an agent. Off-market properties is basically everything else. And with off-market properties, what we're trying to find is motivation, and we're trying to find equity, just for a quick overview here. So to find these on-market properties or off-market properties, you can come and you can use the Investor's Edge finding tool here. So we're gonna focus on off-market properties. And so let's just say you were in Atlanta, Georgia. That's just the first thing that came up. What we do is we have these buckets of opportunities that are right here. So these are involuntary liens, bankruptcy, out-of-state owners, non-owner occupied, pre-foreclosures, and failed MLS listings. We'll just take this first one. So what we do is these are pre-filtered, and this will tell you it's not listed on the MLS. They have an involuntary lien for $5,000 or more. That's a lien that they did not want to have go on the property. So it's not like a loan, like a mortgage loan or something like that. These properties are less than 500,000, and you may say, well, in my area, I want to go a little bit higher or a little bit lower. And they have 30% or more of equity. You can also see, let's just jump out of here real quick and we'll just come filter. You can see different types of additional filters here. Like this is one of my favorites, which is tired landlords. So of the 4,000 properties, there's 370 tired landlords that are not listed on the market that have a $5,000 lien or more with 500,000 or fewer on the value with 30% or more of equity. Okay, so that's where we're talking here. Now let's just say you did your criterias and found everything and you wanted to do these properties. What you would do is you would save these, you would add them to a list, and then after you add them, you just give this, we'll just give this, I have too many tests. I don't know why I even say test, but then we just save it, okay? Then the next thing that you're gonna do to make those calls is you're gonna come here and you're gonna do skip traces. And to skip traces, you would come and you would select that list, test postcard vacant, I don't know, that might be the list. And then when we find the list, then we would add the selected contacts. And after we add the selected contacts, we'll do that, we'll hit done. We'll hit next, reskip trace if it needs to, and it's 24 cents. We place the order, accept, and it's doing the skip trace, okay? It's gonna take a few minutes to skip trace. I mean, it's not like hours, but it's gonna be a few minutes. So when the skip tracing comes available, what you'll find is this. It's going to take a few minutes, so for sake of time, I'm just going to show you what I've already done. It's going to have the name, which we already have. It's going to have the mobile telephone numbers. It's going to have any landlines. It's going to have any email addresses. It's going to have property address, and it's going to have mailing address. Now, mailing address we already have. So what you're getting by skip tracing is the mobile phone numbers, the landline numbers, the emails. Okay, so that's what you could do. Now, a couple of things here to keep in mind. You can do a campaign with email marketing. Let's do a new activity. So we're gonna do email marketing. And so we can come in here, give it a campaign name. We can give it a URL, which you established with the other one. And then you can email out. We can do a predefined template, and we can send an email out, subject line, and those things to these off-market properties. That's fairly easy to do. The other thing that we can do is we can call or text message these people that we just did the skip tracing with. One of the questions, this question that's being asked is, how do I find somebody that'll call these off-market properties for me? So one thing to keep in mind is there is a dialer that I really like, and okay. So this is Mojo Sales. This is a dialer that I really like. It's fairly affordable. And so like a triple line dialer, which is what I recommend, is $149 per license. And so that's for one person, okay? And with that, you don't need any of these things because you can get everything from our financial or from our information here, and you download it. So if these are ones that you wanted to do, you'd come here, you'd export them, and you'd import those into the dialer. This will dial 3 lines at once. So single member, $149. If you can't afford that, $99. If you can't afford that, make the freaking phone calls yourself. So that's a way. So if you are going to hire someone to do it, I recommend that you get something like this that will keep track of it. and it will, you'll be able to know the dials that the person you're hiring is actually making. So Mojo sells. Okay, so now you've got your list that you found that are off-market properties. You've skip traced and you've got those phone numbers, and now you've got a way to call those phone numbers. The question they're asking is, how do I get somebody else that's going to call these for me? Well, one of the things I like to use is Upwork. Upwork is a world marketplace. Okay, so I'm looking for someone to call real estate deals. Cold calling, telemarketing, appointment setting. So let's do a little bit of an advanced search here. Let's see, real estate. And let's do call. And let's see what we got here. Real estate virtual assistant, that's not what. Real estate lead generator, okay. Let's take a look at this guy. Completed jobs, what's he done in the past? Data specialist, lead generations. I don't know if that means he's making phone calls or not. 2 phone numbers, yeah, maybe he is. Okay, so what happens here is you can come in and you would start an account. You would log in, you would start an account, and you would want to start an account as an employer, okay? And you start an account as an employer. Then what you do is you create a job opportunity. And with that job opportunity, you can go in here, place the job opportunity, and then you can find people like this and invite them to apply. You'd say, hey, I'd like you to come take a look at this. You can also sponsor that job posting for a few dollars and get more people that will be coming to it. And you can ask certain questions to see who they are. With this, one of the things I like to do is I like to make sure that it takes their screen. So one of the cool things is if they are, it will screen capture shots of their screen every so many minutes. So you can actually know they're working, they're actually doing stuff, so that you can make sure that you're not paying for time they're not really spending. So let's show job posts and proposals, and you would post a new job. Okay, when you post a new job, you go through a process: long-term, short-term, answer the questions, put in what you're willing to pay, those types of things. Okay, and then what's going to happen is people are going to come, and you can invite them, and people are going to come, and then you can hire them. And the cool thing is it's going to take money from your bank account. It's going to hold it for them. And then you'll know that they did the work because you'll get what are called these screenshots or timesheets. So let's go to timesheet. This is somebody that's doing some stuff for us. I come to the timesheet. I can see the time that they've spent. They spent 7 hours yesterday. Well, I can go through and look at these and just make sure I know what they're working on. And this is all stuff that I know is for me, so I can keep a kind of an eye on this and get an idea to make sure, am I seeing like personal emails here? Am I seeing any of that stuff? So that's really helpful, so I can get an idea of what's actually going on. And then I can come in and I can say, this is how many hours they can work per week. They can work 10, they work 15, whatever I want to do. This is what I'm paying them. They take out the sales tax, the fee, the hourly, and all that type of stuff, and I don't have to worry about it. So I post it there. The next thing that I've got to do is I've got to make sure they have experience. So one of the things you can do is find people with experience. Okay. So a couple other things you'll see is job success. Okay. Real estate land acquisitions. I'm not looking for land acquisitions necessarily, although you may be. So you would go through and find that. But when I look at this person, I can see a few things. One, she's had 14 jobs. She's got 1,193 hours, and she has 100% approval from the people that she's done jobs for. That's a pretty good sign, right? Then I can come down here and look at, this is a real estate acquisition managers needed. Excellent worker, she always does. So I can see past reviews. I can see all that type of stuff. She's doing cold calling, okay? Cold calling. Acquisition manager is another one. Cold caller is somebody you can search for. Acquisition manager is somebody you can search for. Those are all types of titles that's going to be happening. You can look at her portfolio. You can look at her work history. And then you can invite. Now, once you invite them, and if they're interested in the posting for that job, then you're going to want to have a phone interview with them where you call them and listen to them. The big thing you're going to want to make sure is their English is decent. If it's too off, then you're going to run into some problems. But if somebody has a history of success, they're probably worth trying. And at, how much is she? $10 an hour. It's probably pretty good, worth it to do a test. Okay. Now I think you're going to spend between $10 and $15 an hour. You might be able to find some people for less. Like this is 7, made $40,000. That's interesting. It's probably worth a talk right there. Okay. So advanced search. No, that's not what I want. So I want to make sure they're doing cold calling. If they're not doing cold calling, telemarketing, actually cold calling is probably worse because cold calling is location. I don't really care. Freelancers or agencies. An agency is a company that does work. I don't like to do that. I like to go straight to a freelancer, but some people would rather work through an agency. So that's up to you. The categories, English level, I got to have somebody that's fluent. I don't care about other languages. I want to make sure somebody I'm working with has already done 100 hours. And I want to make sure they've got an 80% or greater job success. So come up here, real estate, virtual assistant, cold caller, appointment setter, $10. I could invite them to the job. $15, $6. And look, they've made $70,000. That's a lot of money. So I like to look at people. So he has 100% job success, but I don't see that he's made any money. $90,000. Okay. Customer service. Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. Real estate, wholesale. Maybe she is doing cold calling, but we'd have to look into there. This is one. I'm a cold caller. Perfect. SMS manager, appointment setting. Perfect. Exactly what I'm looking for. This guy's $6 an hour. 93% job success, and he's made $70,000. That's what I'm going to want to invite to the job or message them and talk about it. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking at client feedback and what do they say and what's going on here. Yeah, pretty cool. And then what's going to happen is they will then be using the Mojo dialer system, which keeps track of things. They can keep their notes in there, who they've called, callbacks, that type of stuff. They also import new opportunities, and they can be using the Investor's Edge software to do that. So this is how you can find people to make calls for you on off-market properties and be as efficient as possible.